Welcome back to the official Polytopia YouTube channel. Today we have an exciting game for you featuring a knight hidden in plain view, some amazing bomber plays, as well as lots of exciting back and forth action. Let's dive right into it. This video features a match from our ZEBASI Polysseum, where players of all backgrounds and skill levels come together to prove themselves in an intense live match. If you're interested, the links to the tournaments will be provided in the description below, and we hope to see you in the next Polysseum.
I'm here with Cloudglidder, the pro Polytopia player on the House of Tempest.
And I'm here with Ramdingler, who is a pro player in House Ronin.
And we're going to be watching the game 3 of ZEBASI Polysseum. We have Anva in the west, the orange ZEBASI.
And we have Sivet in the south, sorry, getting my directions mixed up there, playing as red ZEBASI.
Anva has a slightly better spawn because he has more farms, 4 farms in their capital. He goes for the lighthouse to get turn 2 level 3 capital upgrade.
Yeah, we can see that there's going to be this choke point village right in the middle of the map. So whoever gets this village is going to have a lot of water control and just map control in general. So let's see how the two players kind of compete to see who can take control of this crucial center city. We see Sivet here makes an early rush into fishing and has upgraded his capital and is now firing off an explorer, which meets their opponent and gives them basically all the vision they could ever want.
And that was a very good explorer. I like getting explorers on lakes especially, and Anva goes for construction. Get that giant as early as possible. He's gonna get it next turn.
Wow, yeah, that's a very early giant. Meanwhile, Sivet sets himself up for this knockoff on the center village here.
When Anva gets the giant, places the monument immediately, and Sivet kicks Anva off the center village and goes straight into archery.
If we go to Sivet's vision here, yeah, Sivet has like basically perfect vision. He sees the giant, so he's already getting ready to deal with them somehow. And he decides that archery is the best way to deal with the giant. Meanwhile, Anva is just getting giant after giant, 2 giants on turn 8. These are incredibly early giants. We see the explorer does not reveal the lighthouse. And Sivet is spamming archers. They're just archer after archer. This is a beautiful play. That giant splash killing 3 units, was it? Or 2 units. But getting a lot of value. Killing 2 units. 2 units.
Sivet using archers to deal with scouts and other units. Goes for forestry.
Yeah, he's just trying to trade as positively into his opponent as he can. Archers dealing with scouts is really good since scouts cost 5 to upgrade and 2 minimum to train a unit, and archers only cost 3.
Exactly. You know, but you don't want to be training negatively in Polysseum, especially scouts against archers. That those guys don't trade good. You want to use scouts to explore, and that's exactly what Anva did last turn. They sacrificed a scout to get vision, and now they're moving it with 2 juggernauts. Can Sivet answer this onslaught? Goes for the siege.
And oh no, we see the first siege. Yeah, not 1 but 2 sieges at once. It's not looking great for Sivet. Let's see what he has planned for these sieges. Oh, that's an expensive giant.
Place the monument.
And look at all those chops.
Yeah, there's just enough to get 2 giants.
And double giants.
Now this giant is very isolated. He's going for Sivet's cap. Can Sivet get a giant of their own there too to answer the giant? Shoot some guys. Move Juggernaut close to this giant. Now this giant can hit this Juggernaut. This Juggernaut will not retaliate, but Sivet also gets a giant of his own in capital too. The lighthouse.
And now for the first time in the game, we see that Sivet, well, he had the super unit lead, but now it is again tied up 3-3 now. Although it looks like this giant might be dying soon, as it is very low.
Sivet gets the east village, gets a workshop there. Anva goes for roads. Roads on lakes are usually considered a good option. You can't go bad with roads. Goes for the siege. Might as well.
Places 2 roads to hop on that village 1 turn early.
Ooh, Sivet kills one giant and the other one is also dead. Sivet is now in a... Sivet now has a super lead in super units. Anva gets a star ruin and connects all of his cities.
Ooh, that's an expensive connection. But, you know, he can get his, there he has it now, his Rhodes Monument, which is why he went for all those connections. Unfortunately, he misses the lighthouse here, would have given him a giant in cap.
Now needs to go for more expensive giant with the farm instead of the lighthouse. Now Sivet is moving in.
Sivet moving in with his giants. Takes a border growth. Interesting decision here.
Anva dropped the giant to splash the Juggernaut and to pin the port. Here, this giant is now pinning the port. So Sivet is going to need to put another port if he wants to get into water. Anva is just upgrading, going for climbing, gambling for the ruin.
Sivet's still getting some good value with his archers.
And rammers.
Taking off. Yeah, he went to rammer.
Drops the giant back to heal it. Goes in with the rammer. What is it thinking here? This is usually...
I think he wanted to prevent the ruin from being contested.
Yeah, now this rammer is under control of this tile. So Anva would need to place... just 2 roads actually, still. If he has vision. She does have vision. Anva gets navigation from the ruin, very good ruin. He doesn't go...
Well, that's a very good ruin, yeah.
Kills the rammer. Smacks the giant.
Now we see Anva getting some...
Markets.
Wow. Going for trade, that's a really long-term investment considering that's basically his only good trade spot. We see that Sivet is slowly encroaching upon Anva's capital. It's looking a little bit scary. We do have this giant pop, which keeps in the game with getting more super units. And this is some insane value, having land units hit a Juggernaut that doesn't even do retaliation damage. Beautiful.
Sivet is moving in with more Juggernauts and rammers now. He's gonna siege. He's gonna siege again with the giant. The giant is dead.
Now this is a very expensive siege. He used 2 rammers to do it, and the rammers are at very low health. So he had to really commit to the siege. And unfortunately he does not get it this turn, but he still has a very strong attack going on that city.
Moves in again. He really wants the city. Ooh, he slapped. Oh.
And again, he's committing a lot of units to it, putting a lot of stars into rammers. And it looks like this siege might be unbreakable. Now he hits it with a bomber, clears out some other units, but it does not look like they're going to be able to clear.
I will not be able to clear the siege.
Well, hey, his attack in the east looks like it could be going somewhere. He has two giants staring down Mozuya. Maybe this will push him to capture a city and bring him back into the game? Wow, if you actually pause right there and pull back a little bit to the end of Sivet's turn when he captures that city, just replay that segment right there when he captures the city.
Yeah, we can see the market went down and the win was also went
Yeah, the
down.
market goes down 4 levels. Every single city disconnects from his capital. This is a brutal city for Anva to be losing here. You can see, yeah, everything starts dropping in levels.
Now Sivet has more stars even though Anva has markets. How crazy is that to see? But Anva is going for the siege, 37 HP giant on the city.
He sacrifices so many riders for that siege. This is an expensive siege for him now. But he's not just landing the siege, he's also pushing in the east.
And Sivet to siege. Ooh, very expensive on siege, but he gets it just barely.
Upgrading 2 bombers. And he keeps spamming archers. Looks like Anva is gonna siege not 1 but 2 cities. Can he get the 3rd siege? No, just barely off. Ooh, and a star ruin.
Ooh, very expensive giant.
That was an expensive giant there.
It's in a lumber hut. Anva gives another bomber. Those bombers are getting some insane value and they cannot be attacked too. This is what I like to see. And he puts this giant here to isolate this east city and he's preparing to take it next turn for himself.
Yeah, Anva is kind of located strategically the weakest city for him to target, and he's trying to take advantage of that right now. The East City is furthest from his opponent's capital, and it's also the most isolated city. So if he can target this city, it should be the one that will fall the easiest. And we see here, without the use of riders, without the use of units that can cover that range, the city falls, and this is the second city trade we see of the game. And again, we see Anva just sieging the city over and over again. Even though he lost the city, he's not letting his opponent get any value from it whatsoever.
Now Anva is in the lead again, having these 2 bombers, pinning this city, preventing his opponent from moving into the north body of water. Sivet has bombers, but these bombers cannot move forward anymore. He goes for another siege. He's gonna siege this city again. Goes for a chivalry and a sneaky knight right at the end of his turn.
Yeah, this knight, he literally holds off until the very last second to train it. And, you know, it's so isolated, but he knows his opponent has vision. The knight is hidden in plain view. He sees that massive chain that Sivet is leaving. And, you know, normally most players are like, okay, let me train this knight in the back and hope my opponents don't see. But Anva goes a step beyond. He thinks, let me train this knight in plain view at the last second so my opponents don't even think twice about it. Maybe they'll just think it's a rider. They won't even see it.
Yeah, this knight blends with the background very nicely.
And we see Sivet kind of just going about his day. He's clearing sieges, moving some units around, and, you know, taking out some naval units. This seems like a pretty good position. It seems like he's kind of pushing back, but he does not see the knight. He passes his turn and leaves this brutal chain tearing through like almost his entire army. Here, Anva actually could have continued the chain if he had promoted his raft into a bomber. He decides not to, and instead promotes it to a rammer to clear out some more naval units instead.
Yeah, he could have gotten a bomber here and shot me. Bomber.
Yeah, bomber right there
Bomber
and
right
shot
there.
the scout to splash.
And then this scout goes here to shoot this, so he can chain to the warrior, through this raft, through this warrior, and then he can kill 2 more scouts.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, he chooses to go for a different strategy, which is perfectly fine. He still gets so much value from that play. And we can see just from that single chain, the entire tides of the game have shifted drastically.
He can barely unsiege the east city.
Yeah, we see lots of scout upgrades that turn in order to ensure that all the unsieges can happen. The knights are kind of just tearing through. There's just not enough space on the map to hide units without giants, without defenders, without something bulky to be in the way to zone of control. The knights are just doing so much.
See an expensive unsieged roads, riders. Yeah, Anva is just stabbing through with knights. Ooh, and goes for the block. Sieges
Blocks
again,
with 2 riders. Yep, sieging with the knight.
I don't think Sivet got any income from this city, which is funny.
Yeah, I think Anva was very smart. He sieged it like every single turn. That first siege was expensive, but after that it was just 2 riders and a warrior, and the income is gone. And now we see he's triple sieging. That's 1 on siege. 2. Ooh, a bomber upgrade, very expensive. And barely gets the 3rd on siege, ends the turn with 0 starters. And now we see Anva is feeling a lot more comfortable, decided to go for this border growth. Again, triple siege. Gets another giant, very expensive, but hey, he has a stars to spare now. Knights are starting to build up.
Yeah, Anva is feeling confident now, placing this knight in their borders. And now 1, 2, 3, this knight can almost reach this bomber. If Sivet makes 1 mistake, this bomber is gone.
The bomber line is the only thing keeping Sivet in the game here. He's really using them on the defense, trying to unsiege all his cities with them, so he doesn't have to spend that many stars. He's getting sieged so much that every star really matters to him. And you can see the bomber's getting so much value, just pulling off unsiege after unsiege. And we see he gets another giant here with a port, and he's trying to put the riders into the water since they have no real path of retreat. And we see the cloak trained, and Sivet resigns.
Sivet resigns, yeah, once he saw the cloak and the giant coming in. He couldn't deal with the giant, he couldn't pop a giant of his own. His income was being denied, being only on 16 stars at the start of his turn for past, what is it, at least 5 or 6 turns.
Yeah, despite being on 6 cities, 3 of those cities are being sieged every single turn. There is no break between the sieges. So even though he's on 6 cities, he's only getting 3 stars worth of income. And that is just brutal. But yeah, a very beautiful game played from both sides. The main mistake being that massive knight chain blundered.
Anva had much better resources in capital and the 2 suburbs, and I got scared when I saw the giant and the level 4 C2 on turn 6. So I got archers, which was a mistake, but luckily Anva didn't get the second giant on turn 7. So I just barely managed to pop giants and hold on to all my cities. And at that point I knew I had an advantage, so I tried pushing for Anva C2 back, but that was probably the losing mistake actually, because I pumped all my economy and units there, and even though I eventually got it, Anva just expanded in the northwest in the meantime and started attacking my west, and by getting that city I lost all my initiative, and after I overlooked the night chain I just lost the west and lost the game.
Thank you for watching, share your thoughts in the comment, join the next Polysseum, the link is in the description, like and subscribe, join our Discord and other social media, the links are also in the description. If you'd like to see more of Polysseum content, click the really exciting Chinchi Polysseum video on the screen. Take care and see you in the next one.